Hello, my name is Albert Casella. This is my project. It focuses on trade networking in ancient Sumer and the influences of the Sumerians in general over the rest of Mesopotamia. I know we had a chapter on it this semester, and I just wanted to further investigate that. I will be focusing particularly on Uruk, which is the first city in the world, known as the first city in the world, and its influences on ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, particularly. I'll also be talking about the technological advancements, inventions such as the sail and the wheel, pottery advancements, an overview of the city and the city's history, communication with the outside world. There's evidence of trade with the Levant, ancient Egypt, and even trade by water as well. I'll also be talking about the impact that this had on the ancient world and the influence that Uruk, ancient Sumer, just the Sumerians in general had on the world in the past and even today. Uh, Uruk, what's left of it, is on the left. It's believed to have been occupied from about 3200 BC to 2400 BC. Those are rough estimates because it's difficult to know exact dates, but that's the range that archaeologists believe that it was occupied. It occupied about 45,000 people at its height, which was about 2800 BC was the height of the civilization. On the right is what archaeologists believe it would have looked like. It's located on the banks of the Euphrates River. This is thought to have been done so that the people could have access to clean water, water for agriculture, and eventually they can move up and down the river to other settlements for trade. Some of their inventions included the sail, the wheel, mathematics, the smelting of iron, and we also find the first evidence of burial rituals that are consistently being done for certain types of people. We find social inequality as well. The people with the biggest houses, the most stuff, they were those in higher power. They made the laws, they enforced the laws as well. These burial rituals have also been seen in ancient Egypt, and it's believed that they were influenced by the Sumerians. The sail, pretty self-explanatory. They used it to go up and down the Euphrates rivers. There's no evidence of seafaring in ancient Sumer as there is in ancient Egypt, but they were used to go up and down trade networks to villages along the Euphrates River. It was also used. The stations were also set up on the Euphrates River by those in power to tax the people who were going up, the merchants who were going up and down and trading. The invention of the wheel, it was invented to help farm more efficiently, and then it was used for transportation later, horse-drawn carriages, things of that nature. Eventually, the car. Today, the effects of the sail and the wheel are both being seen today as they were of great influence in the ancient world, as well as mathematics. Mathematics was a big deal. It regulated trade. Weights and measures regulated the amount of trade. That way people could, so they knew they weren't getting ripped off. They knew it was a fair trade. And the smelting of iron occurred in 2500 BC. This is important because it brought about more stable structures. More stable things could be invented that would last longer and didn't have to be replaced as often. The influences of these inventions is pretty widespread throughout ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. From Egypt, it went all across the Levant and even up to modern-day Cyprus. So the Sumerians had a great influence both culturally and materially throughout the ancient world. Sumer is in the southeastern corner of the map. It's circled, and everything you see is pretty much everything that they traded with. Writing, as it says, writing began in Sumer. It was cuneiform writing, and that began approximately between 2800 and 2900 BC. This was important because it also allowed people to write down what they saw. or what happened. They could write it down and record it. Um, this is also a problem because people tend to stretch the truth, especially rulers. If anyone's familiar with ancient Egypt, rulers are often stretch the truth. So a lot of what's written has to be taken with a grain of salt. But things such as manifest, itineraries, those are known, and it's hard to stretch a tooth on that. Those are very very useful to letting us know what happened back then and how it happened. Everything you see on the map is pretty much the trade network of ancient Sumer. They went along the rivers that are around Sumer to ancient Babylonia, Assyria, as far as Mitanni. Um, from there, not from Mitanni, from ancient Sumer, Egyptians would come and they would go to Egypt as well, because those were the two powers that were developing. Well, it was ancient Egypt and Sumer. Eventually, ancient Egypt did come over and take over Sumer at when they took over Uruk when Uruk was a bit small, a bit on the downswing. Trade networking it had an incredible influence on the ancient world, and it pretty much globalized their ideas. Their influence is very far stretching. Egyptians began to use their burial rituals in their own culture, and ancient Uruk as well as the Sumerians are really the first civilization that we know of that came together in a very large group in order to be more efficient. Well, this is very unique in history. It's seen all over the world today. Pretty much every city is similar to that of Uruk, and then it just it reassures the belief that the way we behave now is not dissimilar from how we behaved in the past. I really enjoyed doing this project. I thought it was very interesting. I'm an archaeology major, so I'm very interested in this material. There are some of my sources. Please feel free to let me know what you think. It's very interesting to me, and I want to know more about it. I plan on continuing to read it. I really enjoyed this class. I thank you for your time and watching this presentation.